friends, welcome to Bookish Bliss, our virtual book club. Every week we will dig into a section of chapters in our favorite books. Let's get started.
Hey book besties, and welcome back to Bookish Bliss for episode 75. We have a lot to discuss today.
We are going through our journey of Sarah J. Maas's Heir, and this week it's all about chapters 14 to 25. So you don't have to read the entire book, but you do have to be caught up on the chapters we're covering because we are going full spoiler mode. Amanda, darling, what are you drinking tonight?
A little bit of LaCroix, but it's lemon this time.
Oh, lemon!
Indeed, darling. What are you drinking tonight?
Well, darling, I'm taking
Oh,
a
no.
page out of Amanda's playbook and I'm drinking the ginger lime mule, darling.
Stop it. I'm so mad I don't have any now.
And I'm just hoping the ginger settles my stomach, darling, because I'm going through it tonight.
Oh, no. What a trooper you are, darling.
Anything for you, darling.
You're the best, darling.
Well, I will cheers you to episode 75. 75 of Bookish Bliss and
Wow.
part 2 of Heir. Cheers, darling.
Cheers, darling.
Oh, let me get that polar in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm jealous that you have that
Obsessed.
and I don't.
I know, you should be jealous. I went to the grocery store the other day and I was walking down the aisle and I was going to go get my bubblies, as you know I do. And I saw these just sitting here on sale and I thought, gotta grab a pack.
Gotta do it.
Yeah.
And she sent me a picture.
I did, in the grocery store.
I'm proud of you, though. It's better than ginger ale, so
It
good
is
for you, honey.
better than ginger ale. Yeah, I had a very weird week with my weight. And of course, I just
What happened?
was depressed about it yesterday, so I ate like shit today and yesterday. You know what I did? I was like, let me weigh myself again.
No.
Because I just want to
no.
hurt my own feelings. And I gained 4 pounds from yesterday at 11 a.m. to tonight at 6 p.m. Gained 4 pounds.
Yeah, but you can't weigh yourself at night. That's like illegal.
Yeah.
Actually doesn't count.
And my mom goes, you're a crazy person. So she got on the scale to show me that she weighed 4 pounds more than she did this morning. So she was like,
it's true.
Let's not have a mental breakdown. And I was like,
Megan is crazy.
And it does. It sucks because I am on this journey, but I'm so hard on myself. I'm doing so much and I don't know. It's a big mental game and it sucks. So
it is. I know. But you're supposed to lose little by little. That's how you keep it off.
Well, yeah, and that's what I am actually doing. So
yeah, exactly. So you're fine.
I didn't have bookish news. So I just wanted to tell everyone that my mental health is not great.
But we're gonna have a great time tonight.
Mental health is important, people. And
yes, it is.
Amanda, if it wasn't for her,
oh, darling, don't make me cry.
I would be in the ringer for sure.
Oh, yes. I've had to talk you off the ledge several times this week.
This week especially. This has been a tough week for me, for sure.
Yeah.
But this week's going to be better. We have book club tomorrow.
Yes.
We're doing a little...
And we have Shield of Sparrows book club this month.
We do. I have been reading.
I need to get my ass on that.
I'm on chapter 23, 24, maybe. I'm really loving it. I'm loving it. So
I can't wait to start it. I need to finish our book club book for tomorrow first, and then that's next on my list.
Literally the shortest book club book we've had in a long time.
I know, and I just didn't read it. I don't know why.
It's because it's a weird book. It's a weird book.
I like it though, but it's weird.
Yeah, it's psychologically intriguing.
Yeah.
But also I'm do I even like this? But at the same time, I'm I was invested the whole time.
Yeah. I have 85 pages left. I think I can do that between now and tomorrow at 6:30.
Yeah. No, for sure. I read it in 2 days because I had to give it to Kelsey. So I didn't have a choice because the book came in late from Book of the Month. It's Book of the Month. You're on our list for sure.
That's actually what happened. That's why I started it so late. And then I've been busy.
Yeah. You'll finish it.
Yeah, I'll finish it for sure.
Yeah.
How about we get started with the good stuff now and break down Heir of Fire Part 2. We are starting with Megan Darling tonight.
We are starting with me. I love it when it starts with me. Just kidding.
Indeed, because then if it ends with me, then we have the same amount of chapters. Beautiful.
Yes. Chapter 14. Selena entered the mounds determined to cross the field and complete the challenge. She wouldn't stop, not with Rowan watching. The white still lingered inside the mound. If magic was the only way to defeat it, she would be useless. But then the air turned still and strange. Something was wrong. The white wasn't coming out, not because it was waiting, but because it was afraid. That's when she saw him. A man stood in the shadows, pale skin, night dark hair, an otherworldly beauty, an onyx torque at his neck. And then blackness slammed into her. She couldn't see. Her vision, her senses, her mind were stripped away. She was reliving her worst memories. The first one, the morning she woke up to find her parents dead. The bed hadn't been wet from the rain, but from their blood. She saw them, slaughtered like animals. Selena
Ugh.
vomited, her bladder released. Then she was in another room. Nehemiah's body lay before her. She lashed out with her elbow, hitting the creature. It hissed and loosened its grip, just enough. She tore free and ran, sprinting until she reached Rowan, her body still retching. She didn't know if she was screaming, sobbing, or making no sound at all. The wildfire within her ignited, magic flaring as she shifted again and again until finally she screamed and the power burst out of her.
Wow.
She woke beneath a canopy. Rowan had dragged her away from the mounds. He was furious. Undisciplined, no control, no courage, he said to her. She had failed to face the white, and instead threw a magical tantrum. Their eyes met. His said, "That thing should not have been there." Hers answered silently, "Then what the hell was it, you stupid bastard?" He replied to this out loud, saying, "I don't know. I've never encountered anything like this before. It was gone when I circled back." He was angry that she didn't want to resume her training, but she snapped back and told him to go to hell. She had seen things no one should ever have to see. Without another word, he told her where the female baths were and that she was expected in the kitchens in the morning.
Wow.
Whoa.
I was right, by the way.
That she used her powers in the chapter after the last one.
Yeah. Yay for me.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks. I can't believe we're going back this far. I feel like so much happened this section.
So much happened in this section.
Yeah.
So we don't know what this creature was. He looked human, but
Yeah.
not. He was pale with night dark hair and otherworldly beauty, but wasn't Fae either.
You know what's crazy? At first, I thought it was Rowan. He was just trying to scare her.
Oh, yeah, like just like messing with her
Yeah.
to shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, oh shit, wait, no, this is real.
Yeah, no, something bad is actually happening, especially with the
Yeah.
white being afraid of this creature, and it has
Mhm.
an onyx torque at its neck. This creature, person, thing cloaks her in darkness and is making her relive her worst nightmares, which is her parents' death and Nehemiah's death. I'm surprised
Oh,
Sam's death wasn't also thrown in there, but
true.
I guess she didn't see it, like, but she
Yeah.
saw his body after,
Mm-hmm.
but didn't see like the actual crime scene of where it
Yeah,
happened, just like what his body looked like after. So maybe that's why. But
maybe.
I thought that was interesting that that one was just kind of like skipped over, even though,
Maybe because we had just read about it in Assassin's Blade, so we need to relive it again.
yeah, I mean, I'm glad not to relive it again, even though he is brought up later in these sections.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad we did not have to relive Sam's death. The parents and Nehemiah's was bad enough.
Yeah,
She
I
gets
know.
sick and she pees herself, which is so
Ugh,
sad.
I know.
But
In front of Rowan.
yeah,
She's
she's
mortified.
like, I don't care at this point.
Yeah.
I just need to get out of here.
Yeah.
But she does. She gets away, thank God. And
Mhm.
Rowan drags her from the mounds and is like yelling at her as she's like coming back into consciousness. Do you think he was just like yelling the whole time? Like he just like she just now is like catching on now that she's awake again?
Maybe.
Undisciplined, no control, no courage. You threw a fucking magical tantrum. You failed the test.
Yeah. He is being a little harsh though in this section, but
I think he needs like she's never gonna do anything if he's not tough on her though.
I know. I just feel bad.
She needs a kick in the ass.
She does, but not like the way, he calls her a coward. And that was the last
But I
thing she
mean,
said
she
to
kind
him.
of is acting like a coward.
I know, but I just feel like it's mean.
It is mean, but she is literally the queen of Terrasen,
I
and
know.
she's doing
She needs to get her
absolutely
act together.
nothing to train herself to defeat the king of Adarlan. She's sitting on her ass and cleaning dishes in the kitchen.
Yeah, it's very true.
So I
She
don't
needs to
know.
get her act
I
together.
don't know if positive reinforcement would work since she is Selena and stubborn, but
Yeah, she needs to learn the hard way, unfortunately.
I know. She can never
Dummy.
do anything the easy way. And she knows it. She's
Yep,
at least a self aware queen.
literally.
I thought what was interesting is they have this like silent conversation. Like at first she's
Yes.
like, it seemed like his eyes said that thing should not have been here. So she silently like says back to him, then what the hell was it, you stupid bastard? But he answers her out
Yeah,
loud saying, I
yeah.
don't know.
They can definitely talk through each other's
I don't
minds.
think that they know they can do that at the moment, but I feel like we know as the readers because we're seeing like how it's written on the
Well, it
page.
happens also again in this section later, in later chapters.
Yeah.
So I feel like that just confirmed it for me.
Yeah, for sure. Crazy.
But yes, exciting. I love the magic when it's starting to come alive in the story.
I know. You'll get to do your favorite section later, maybe? Just kidding.
Oh, darling. I should not do it for this section.
Darling! There was magic. The people will be upset.
The people will be fine.
I'm not fine.
We'll sing magic every time the magic comes. Magic, magic, magic.
That's not the song.
I don't even remember it. What is it?
What do you mean?
Megan, I have brain damage.
Fast magic.
Oh, yeah. Fast magic.
Megan, I have brain damage.
I literally do. It's been so long.
All right, people,
Yeah, I
you're
don't
not getting
know.
what you want. There's no fast magic in this
Sorry, no
episode.
fast magic. Maybe next time. Chapter 15. Kale met with his father, informing him he wouldn't leave for NEL until a replacement for his captain of the guard position was found. His father, enraged, questioned Kale's honor and suspiciously probed his motives for sending Selena to Wendland, causing Kale to stiffen. Kale lied about not wanting to read a letter from his mother, a lie his father saw through, noting her sadness when he would explain that Kale had no interest in hearing what she had to say. They eventually agreed to a 2-month delay and a favor owed. Meanwhile, Sorsha was summoned to Dorian's room for healing. Dorian, unusually chatty, asked about her origins and passion for healing. She revealed she was from a small Fenharrow village and had always wanted to be a healer. He pressed her on why she kept silent about witnessing his magic with Selena and Kale. Sorsha explained it was because he was never cruel and the world needed more good people. When Dorian inquired about her village and parents, she disclosed that her village had been burned and her parents died in Rifthold's immigrant purge shortly after their arrival, leaving her with nowhere else to go. She instantly regretted oversharing, fearing he'd never summon her again, and contemplated how to apologize. The following day, Dorian secretly dispatched someone to find out the name of Sorsha's village, adding it to his personal map.
Mm.
Whoa, okay, so Sorsha's back?
She's back in another chapter, this section
Yeah,
too.
I know. I'm like, is there going to be another love triangle? We know she loves him.
Yeah.
But is Dorian just bored because Selena's not there? Probably. He has no one else to talk to because he's mad at Kale.
Mm.
And she's probably pretty and little and petite.
He loves people he shouldn't be talking to, anyways.
True. Kale also meets with his father in this chapter. And it's so funny because I feel like the first section he was like, I'm going, I'm going, I'm going. And now he's like, no, we got to find a replacement first for the captain of the guard. And it's going to take 2 months. And his dad's like, oh, okay, you little liar.
Yeah, I thought you were a man of your word.
Yeah, and I wonder, though, why he wants to know about Selena and Wendland, though. Like,
Well, I think he sees the bullshit through what Kale orchestrated. Like, he went to his
yeah,
father for help.
Yeah, true. It was kind of sad that they like had a letter from the mom and he had to pretend he didn't want to read it.
I know.
And she's going to be sad when he lies the dad, even though he knows Kale really wanted to read it. He had to put on a brave face.
Yeah.
Poor Kale, my man.
Yeah, poor Kale.
But back to Sorsha. She's keeping our secret about the magic,
Mhm.
so whatever. Talk away. They talk about her village and how it was burned to the ground and how Riffholt had an immigrant purge, and that's how her parents died. She literally had nowhere else to go, so she's working in the castle. Seems like she has kind of a vendetta.
I don't know if she does, but she should.
She definitely should.
She's too nice.
Yeah, she's way too nice.
Mhm.
But she's living her passion. She's healing and she loves Dorian, so she will run anytime he summons her.
Yeah. She's like, you need me? I'm there.
Yeah. Dorian's so nice though, and he asks her for the name of her village to add to his personal map. That was nice.
Mhm.
If anything, whatever. A friend while Selena's away. Even though she still loves Kale.
Yep. Chapter 16. Manon was in the mess hall in the Omega, and it was one of the most dangerous places to be. They had kept the clans separated by shifts of training with the Wyvern, training in the weapons rooms, and training in mortal warfare, but here in the mess hall, they were all together to eat. Manon thought tensions would be high until they had selected their mounts. Manon expected to get Titus still, but she wanted to punch people's teeth out when they talked about getting a bull of their own. The green eyed twins, Phelan and Fallon, more demon than witch, had gotten into a brawl with some yellow leg idiots, and Manon had to punish them the same way she did with Astrid. But it did not stop the fighting from repeating like clockwork. Manon and Iskra have another pissing contest in the line for food. Iskra trying to bait her into a fight by saying that Manon used to be known as one of the best flyers. The 13 were taking flight on the Wyvern for the first time today, and everyone wanted to watch them. Once they were mounted, even with everyone watching them, Manon said, "We are the 13. From now until the darkness claims us, let us remind them why." They all make it through the gap, and they were airborne. They were all ecstatic, even though some of the 13 would never show it outwardly. We're in the air, baby.
We're in the air, honey.
Later, Manon was meeting with her grandmother. She told Manon she did well today. She wants Manon in the 13 to be wing leader. She wants Manon to be leading all of the clans. When the time comes and they go to reclaim the waste, it will not be a blue blood that sits on the Iron Teeth throne. It will be a Blackbeak. She suspected the other matrons will tell their heirs the same and to have Astrid watch her back. Her grandmother reminded her that even the best witch can be taken out. Baba Yellowlegs was the best, and someone had gotten her. She needs to watch her back. She will not be happy if she has to find another heir.
Ooh. Grandmother is very bitchy.
She is very strict,
Yes, she is.
but just so fun to go back into the witch world to see what is
Yeah.
going on there. Of course, the clans are still fighting. They don't get along, even though they're all part of the Iron Teeth witches.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably, even when they get their mounts, I think that they're still going to be acting this way towards each other. I think
I think so too.
that's just how
100%.
they function. They don't know how to be kumbaya and play nice with each other.
Yeah, because they're all enemies in one place. Of course, they're not going to be kumbaya right away.
Yeah, they were only united to fight the Kraken witches, and that's it. That's really all they can agree
Yeah.
upon.
And that was what, 500 years ago?
It was a long time ago.
So, yeah. I think the alliance is over.
Yeah, it's a loose alliance at this point.
Yeah.
But they have rules that they all follow to a certain degree, but
Mhm.
fighting still keeps happening, even though they tried to keep them as separated as possible. But it was so nice to see the 13 get to ride the Wyvern for the first
Yes.
time. They all made it through the gap and made it airborne. So that was a win that Iskra did not like, of course.
Yeah.
She just walked
Of
away
course.
once they were all airborne. But I love the
Yeah.
saying, like that Manon says, that they all say, "We are the 13 from now until darkness claims us."
Yeah. Aw.
I know.
Besties for life.
Besties forever.
They fly together and they
The-
die together.
no, literally. It's crazy. That's how they
Mhm.
think.
Yep.
And that is what they will do.
Indeed.
Also, later that day, we get some praise for our leader, Manon, from her
Yes.
grandmother, which I feel like is probably few and far between in these
I was gonna
moments.
say, is it the only time this whole section?
I think so.
Maybe.
But she basically wants her to become the wing leader so that once the king's war is over and they go back to reclaim the waste because they get to keep their wyvern, as we learned in the
Mm-hmm.
last section, that they will go reclaim the waste. And she wants either herself or Manon to be sitting on the Iron Teeth throne. And so she
Yep.
better be careful because Manon's like, I can take care of myself. And she's like, Baba Yellowlegs was like literally the best Iron Teeth witch ever, and someone still got to her. So you need to watch your back because I'll be pissed if I have to find someone else to take your place.
Yeah. That's crazy because it was Selena.
I know,
So
crazy.
she could really take down Manon if she wanted to.
Yeah, I guess in theory.
Yeah, in theory. Interesting. Although she does seem very scary still. I would
She
not fuck with her.
she is very scary.
Yeah. Chapter 17. Selena, looking and feeling terrible, arrived at kitchen duty after a dozen uncontrollable shifts between her forms, a physical ordeal from which she mercifully retained control of her magic. Embarrassed by her soiled display in front of Rowan, she tried to brush it off, but Emery's and Luca were visibly concerned by her exhausted appearance, though she had looked worse after Arabin's brutal beating. They meet Malachi, Emery's overprotective mate, who warns Selena not to bring trouble to her partner, a warning she disregards. Her training that day was a nightmare. Rowan taunted her about her lack of bladder control and forced her to endure hours of misty winds amidst temple ruins, refusing to teach her magic until she could successfully shift. No shift, no magic lessons was his rule. Selena stubbornly endured a punishment thunderstorm before returning to the castle, heading straight for the baths. Later, believing everyone would be asleep, she went to the kitchens for leftovers, only to find the room packed. A gathering of people sat around the hearth with food covering every surface, listening to Emery's tell a story, a tradition of words passed down in the kitchen for millennia. Emery's noticed Selena and invited her to share a story of her home, but she declined, feeling she had no right to tell them and unable to recall them accurately. She realized the legends of Terrasen were mostly lost to her, with only fragments remaining, so she left for her room. I have a prediction about Emery's that I shall be sharing later, but
Oh, darling.
my last prediction was correct because she switches back from her human form to her fae form over a dozen times. Although she's not controlling it. It's uncontrollable at this point. So,
Yeah. Still got to work on that.
yeah, she's still going to work on that for sure. But she's happy that she hasn't, exploded in fire yet. So she's been able to control her magic up to this point in the story. Rowan is not giving her an easy time either, taunting her constantly about her bladder issues. But
Oops.
at least she has a couple of true friends, Emery and Luca, who are really concerned about her. But I think it's crazy that she says she looked even worse after Arabin's brutal beating. I mean, I knew she took a lot from him, but like to think about your entire body literally changing forms over a dozen times and he beat you worse than that is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
She's basically punished again for not shifting. I think she's a little traumatized from the day before, but she sits in a thunderstorm in some wind. Can't be pleasant. Literally all day. That sucks.
Yeah.
I feel like Emery's stories, they make a couple of appearances this section, and I don't want to get too far into it because I want to explain my prediction later. Save
Okay.
it for the end of the episode. But I do think Emery's stories are going to be important. Importante. For sure. I don't even honestly know if that's how you say important, but I'm going to guess that it is.
Okay.
I think it's so sad that she feels like she can't remember these Terrasen legends that were passed down to her. But I feel like, maybe one will come back to her soon. Or maybe Elena will tell her some when we hear from that bitch again.
Yeah.
We got to find out some of them.
Yeah.
by the end of this series, hopefully.
Yeah. All right. Chapter 18.
Mhm.
Dorian was relieved he didn't have to entertain Adian again today. He'd seen little of Kale lately, which was just as well. Their conversations had grown awkward, strained by everything left unsaid. He'd taken to sparring with the palace guards. He liked it, liked the bruises and the cuts because it meant he had an excuse to visit Sorsha.
Oh,
Lately, Sorsha had started leaving her door open because she was expecting him. He noticed this and he liked it too. She
wow.
had begun gently pressing him, though, for answers about what had been happening those months ago when she was healing him and his friends. But Dorian made her ask outright before saying anything. When she finally did, he told her about the creatures, the danger, the secrecy to a point, but he told her that if the king found out about how they knew, he'd kill Selena and Kale without hesitation. Or she alludes that this is what happened, and
Yeah,
Dorian is getting very worked up about thinking about this, and his magic bursts free, uncontrolled, and violent in
crazy.
front of Sorsha.
Again.
When the room lay in shambles, Sorsha takes the blame for what happened, and her
Mm.
supervisor, Amory, berates her and warns her against forming any sort of relationship with Dorian. Not that he ever would, not publicly with who she was. Still, Dorian insisted she continue treating him, and Sorsha agreed and even promised to research ways to help him control his power.
Wow.
Elsewhere, Kale was shadowing Adian, who had slipped away from yet another one of his own parties. Kale tracked him and a stranger through the streets to the docks. He suspected Adian had rebel ties, and he needed answers not just about the rebels, but about magic, about how the king had suppressed it. He had to know before he was forced to return to Aniel for Dorian's sake. As he reached for the eye of Elena, a shiver ran down his spine, and then cold steel pressed into his side. A dagger.
Dun dun
Dun
dun.
dun dun.
Poor little Kaylee.
So it's so funny, like when we go back to the palace, these chapters almost feel like filler chapters, but things
Yeah,
are happening, especially I think with the Kale POVs and the Adian POVs. But Dorian
for
has
sure.
this like separate storyline that's almost forming,
Yeah.
but
With
obviously
Sorsha.
is for no reason. I think it's, I don't know, I guess it's to keep him relevant in the story, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But he shows his magic in front of Sorsha because he gets upset thinking about Kale and Selena being killed by the king if the king ever found out about what had been going on or what is still going
Hmm.
on, about what they know. And Dorian doesn't even know half of the stuff yet that
I
Kale
know.
and Selena know, which would be even worse for them. And
Yeah.
still his magic explodes, destroying the room. And Sorsha, like the good girl that she is, takes the blame for Dorian to explain away what happened in the room, saying she slipped on like oil or something. But because she's keeping Dorian's secret, she's like, "You're going to tell me more about this, and we're going to find a way to help you," because she
Yeah.
loves him and wants him to stay
Oh.
safe.
Well, I feel like Kale is trying to find help for him, but also
He doesn't know that though.
he doesn't know this. Yeah. So I feel like it needs to be done. He's losing control more often now, and his
Yeah.
dad is going to be around one day, and it's going to happen.
Yes, it's getting definitely more and more dangerous for
Yeah,
Dorian and the
for
castle.
sure. Yeah.
Kale goes on a little hunting trip to see what our little new friend Adian is up to, and he's meeting with some rebels. And
Hmm.
yeah, he gets a dagger to his side. So let's see what happens with that.
Yes, let's see. We shall see. Chapter 19. Kale, captured by a rebel group led by Adian, admitted he was simply doing his job by investigating Adian's suspicious movements. He pointed out the black ring Adian wore, a symbol of the king's control. Adian, however, laughed, explaining that his keen face senses had detected something amiss with the ring, so he had a replica made and cast the original into the ocean. Adian, telling Kale he knew too much, offered him a choice: confess everything and face a swift death, or withhold information and endure torture first. Kale, however, had that one piece of information that would save his life. Aelin was alive. This revelation stunned Adian. His most cherished titles were cousin, kin, and protector, and for years he believed his mission to serve Aelin's court was thwarted by her death and the subsequent fall of Terrasen. He had also been shocked to discover that Ren, a former rival and heir to Alsbrook, was alive and part of this rebel group. Ren's parents had sacrificed themselves to allow him and his grandfather to escape, leaving Ren with a vicious scar. Adrian had heard whispers of Aelin's survival, and the king's invitation to the palace was just mere convenience. He also confessed that he had fought in the King's War to earn the Sword of Orinth, a family heirloom rightfully belonging to Aelin. The other rebels attempted to make Cale talk, but he insisted on speaking only to Adrian. After some rough handling, they left, granting them privacy. Cale then told Adrian everything, the full story of Selena Sardathian, her training under Arabin Hamel, her year in Endovier, her role as the king's champion, and finally, his decision to send her to Wedlin, a detail that gave Adrian a fresh reason to want to kill him. Adrian initially believed Cale was a fool for confessing his secrets, but he saw no sign of the dark influence the King's Black Ring had on others. He also reasoned that Adrian's elaborate ruse of throwing parties to hide his meetings with the rebels was not the behavior of an enslaved man.
Mm-hmm.
Cale, in turn, told Adrian he believed Selena would have wanted him to know the truth. Cale revealed that Dorian was unaware of the real reason Selena was sent to Wenland, and that both Adrian and Selena were Fae. Adrian reflected on Selena's immense power, a fraction of which she never possessed, and found it ironic that she ended up on her Aunt Maeve's doorstep after years of talk about tutors and academics, but always avoiding Maeve. Maeve, he said, had no use for his normal Fae gifts, but his abilities still made him a formidable warrior. The two men pondered whether Selena would return. Adrian then turned the conversation back to Cale, demanding to know why he had been tracking the rebels. Cale responded that he thought they possessed valuable information. When Adrian pressed for more details about the Black Rings, Cale insisted on making a bargain. Whoa.
Whoa.
So now Adrian and Cale are in cahoots.
Unlikely allies.
Indeed, darling. He has this piece of information. Aelin was alive. That keeps him alive, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But what a 360 in my brain, at least for Adrian. I mean, after your very silent reaction to my disgust of him, I was like, okay, I clearly was wrong about this. So his favorite titles are cousin, kin, protector. Like, how cute. Knowing that she was like a literal child too. And he's like, okay, I'm just going to go hang out with my cousin, protect her, and be in her court. She's 8 years old, but it's okay. It's just so cute to me.
Yeah.
He fought in the war and got the sword because he knew it was Aelin's, and he wanted to literally take it to the death with him so that it would at least stay in the family. He suspected that she was alive, but now that he knows, he can give it back to its rightful owner, which I loved.
Mm-hmm.
But Cale definitely spills the beans about everything. Basically, book 1, book 2, and Assassin's Blade.
Yeah, he doesn't tell him a few things that he's waiting once Adrian agrees to the bargain, which he'll then tell him in a couple chapters.
Right, of course, yeah. I love that Adrian threw the fucking ring in the sea.
Yeah, he's like, this doesn't smell right. I'm throwing this away.
Yeah, but I wonder if the king can sense that it's a fake.
I don't know.
He should be able to.
He should, in theory, be able to.
Yeah.
But does he care enough to really focus in on it when Adrian is doing everything that he wants?
Yeah. Maybe not.
Yeah. As long as he avoids suspicion, the king won't have to look too deeply into it.
Do you think if he could fucking smell it and know the difference that the king should be able to?
I mean, the king...
Or have people working for him that could, I don't know. I feel like that's going to bite him in the ass, but...
We'll find out.
Yeah, we will definitely find out. And we know at this point of the story, Dorian doesn't know, obviously, that they're Fae.
Right.
Adrian or Selena, and that Cale sent her to Wenland because of that very reason.
Yes.
Oh, I also think it's interesting that we find out that they avoided getting Maeve's help with anything, and now she just ended up on her doorstep. I'm like,
oh no,
that can't be good. I feel like she's gonna manipulate Selena, and it's not gonna be good. but we'll see.
We'll see, darling. Chapter 20. Selena still had a black eye and it was still gruesome, but it improved over the next week as she worked in the kitchens and failed to shift with Rowan while she actively avoided everyone. Since the spring rains had come, the kitchen was packed every night, so antisocial Selena ate alone on the steps every night listening to the storekeeper, Emrys, and it was a title of honor amongst the human and the fae. You sat down and you shut up when they started telling a story. They were a walking library of the kingdom's legends and myths. The only person who made an effort, though, with her was Luca. Everyone else is still kind of actively avoiding her. Even Emrys is kind of giving her the space that she clearly wants, but Luca
Yeah.
is the only one that is going out of his way to try to talk to Selena. He also tried to tell her about himself with the struggles that he went through, but with one stern look from Selena, he stopped. Also, an interesting note, Rowan always came to hear the stories, and she was intrigued about why he would make an appearance to these events. But trading with him was not going well, as she still wasn't shifting. She was doing a whole lot of nothing besides arguing with Rowan. Sometimes he made her chop wood, but mostly they just made snide comments at each other. So, on this specific training day, Selena wanted to see Rowan shift so that she could see how he did it. And he's like, ugh, fine. So, in a flash of light, he turned into a hawk. He said that their clothes go somewhere in the in between. He's never really thought that hard about it. And now it was her turn to shift. She wondered what made Rowan look so soulless. And Selena pondered out loud if this was a punishment from his queen to have to train her. Rowan did not take kindly to that and grabbed her by the tongue. But once he let go, she said something particularly nasty to him, and he bites her. She growls at him and shoves him, and she wanted to rip his throat out so bad that she shifted and bared her elongated canines at him.
Wild.
Well, that's one way to get her to shift.
That's one way to do it.
He's like, I literally have tried A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, probably H, I, and J, and K. And so let's try letter L for loser, which is Selena.
He's pissed too. He's like, you know what?
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah. He's like, here we go. I won.
Oh, fun chapter.
But another mention of the stories from the storykeeper being told. So I'm sure that plays into your theory for later. So I'll just move on from that. I just really want to focus on Selena at the moment and her tension with Rowan. I guess I don't really have too much to say actually after the biting, but
yeah, the biting was the worst of it for sure.
The biting was the highlight of the chapter. I was like, oh my God, I forgot he bit her.
I like that Rowan's even there too. It shows that even the grumpy guys like the stories.
Rowan has many multitudes to him, I think, that we don't really get to see because Selena just has this complete hatred for him at this point.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's only doing his job.
Right. At the end
and
of the
she
day,
should be doing hers.
He's so old too. He's like, this is child shit. Like, he could give two fucks. So I understand his POV.
Yeah.
Chapter 21. Selena, enraged by Rowan biting her, lunged at him, only to be momentarily stunned by a flash of clarity that sharpened her perception of the world. A surge of magic then built inside her. Despite her attempts to suppress it, Rowan urged her to release it. Feeling as though the magic was attacking her, she exploded into a wildfire of blue flames that consumed the trees and everything around her. Rowan, however, quickly extinguished the fire by sucking the air into nothing, which also left Selena gasping for breath. She reverted to her mortal form. Rowan, questioning if her lover knew her true nature, then told her he would not bite her again, as one doesn't bite the women of other males. Selena corrected him, saying they were not together. He then ordered her to shift or face double kitchen duty for the next week. She chose the punishment. He then cruelly called her worthless, stating it would have been more useful that she had died 10 years ago. Fucking douchebag. Selena walked away, but Rowan followed. She told him he was free of his obligation to train her and to go to hell, deciding she would find another way to learn about the word keys, defeat the King of Adarlan, and free Eoway. Rowan, still following, asked what she wanted from Maeve. Selena explained her goal was to save the world, to which he replied that maybe the world wasn't worth saving. She shot back that she had made a promise to a dead friend to see her kingdom freed. Selena found a small cave and a granite ledge to spend the night, determined to start over tomorrow. As she settled in, she felt small, watchful eyes upon her.
Well,
Small, watchful eyes upon
her
her.
little friends.
Interessante. The little folk.
So funny.
She's fucking pissed that she not only shifts, but she literally explodes into blue flames and engulfs everything around her. So we learn another little trick Rowan has up his sleeve where he can literally suck the air out of the air.
Yeah.
Like literally into nothing. Imagine. So he suffocates the fire, yes, but also Selena.
Yeah. He's like, bitch.
And she's like, and that's how she turns back to a human.
Yeah.
Jesus. He's like, okay, shift again.
She's like,
she's like, fuck
no.
you. He's like, yes, or double kitchen duty. And she's like, I will fucking take the double kitchen
She's
duty.
like, I love the kitchen.
All day. Yeah. And she's like, thinking to herself, great, I'm going to be exhausted. There's going to be no nightmares. Fuck yeah, sign me up.
Mhm.
Sign me up for triple kitchen duty.
I'll do breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, literally. But she is done with him after he basically says she's worthless and should have died 10 years ago. Like, come on, Rowan.
That was a step too far.
Yeah, that was like, you deserve a punch in the face.
Yeah.
And
his other
No.
comments, okay, fine. Like,
Yeah.
he's trying to get her to be more disciplined and to get her to fucking function and get some sort of, maybe the rage will get her
Yeah.
to shift. Okay,
Right.
fine. But I think that comment was like her comment of, if all Fae are like you, I can see why the King of Adarlan is doing what he's
Yeah.
doing. That was
That's
just
true.
as bad.
I guess they're 1 for 1 now.
Which is not right.
Which is not right, but you know,
We don't.
hopefully that's it.
You're not
We'll
supposed
keep
to
it at a
fight
tie.
fire with fire.
No, definitely not. She's like, go to fucking hell at this point. She's going to figure out a different way to learn about the word keys
Mm-hmm.
and eventually free Eoway and defeat the King of Adarlan so that she can keep her promise to Nahibia, which is still very relevant theme in our story.
Yes.
She's in a cave for the night, and she notices her little watchful eyes upon her today. She must feel safe knowing that those things will like probably attack anything that goes after her.
Or at least warn her,
Yeah, or at least warn her.
because they don't
I
help
would.
her
I'd be like,
at
hi
all.
guys, thanks for watching my back.
Yeah. Chapter 22. Selena had lit a fire, even though it had been Rowan's #1 rule not to light a fire and to stay off the traveled path, which she was now doing both. Now the forest was silent and not in a good way, so her little friends are gone. When lightning struck, she saw 3 figures standing outside of the cave mouth, and she knew that they weren't human. They were skinwalkers. They searched for human pelts to bring back to their caves, and now they were hunting her. They smelled really bad too. She
Ugh.
started to run away from them down and down the hill when she was snatched up by Rowan, who thankfully was still watching her to make sure she didn't die. He told her that she would need to listen to everything he said, that her survival depended on it. He needed her to shift now. Her mortal body is too slow and it would kill her. He told her that magic wouldn't save them because they did not have airways to cut off, and ice would slow them down but not stop them. He was already using his wind to blow their scents in another direction. The skinwalkers knew that Rowan had joined Selena, and they wanted to kill him now and take Selena back to their cave. Rowan distracts them with branches and leaves crunching in another direction, and they ran like hell. A fourth skinwalker jumped out at them, but Rowan took them down. They were going to jump off the cliff and into the water, but the skinwalkers taunted them, saying that they would just follow them, and Selena knew that they wouldn't be able to fight them in the water well. So as they jumped off the cliff, she told Rowan to shift, and she turned, throwing her wildfire at the skinwalkers and incinerated them. She said, "Surprise, bitch!" Rowan was now putting out her fires, even though he told her she could do it if she tried. She hadn't lost complete control because no fire came when she had shifted, and she hadn't burned her clothes off when she threw the fire at the skinwalkers. So, progress. He also
Mm-hmm.
tells her that she could burn out when she reached the bottom of her well of power, that it could take days or weeks to replenish depending on how much had been used. He tells her that her body isn't just shaking from the cold of the water, it's her body telling her not to use power like that again until she is replenished. Rowan tells her that he was captured once and tortured until his men came to save him. That's how their enemies will try and stop them, is with iron. Selena told him that she could see exactly how it was done to him, not because she went through it, but someone else. She was too late and he hadn't survived. Poor Sam.
Poor Sam.
Selena thanks Rowan for saving her, but he said he is bound by an unbreakable blood oath to his queen, but he would never leave anyone to the fate of the skinwalkers. Rowan gives Selena his cloak and jacket before they head back, and she is even colder in her mortal form. Rowan tells her that she is not leaving and she still has double duties in the kitchen, and Selena follows him back to the fortress.
Wild.
So I feel like that was a scary moment seeing the skinwalkers come into play in this story. It
For
was
sure.
kind of like a bonding moment between Selena and Rowan because they had to work together in order to escape and
Mm-hmm.
survive these skinwalkers.
Yeah.
And Selena listened to him. He's like, "You need to shift, like your life depends on it." And she even tells him later, she's like, "Yeah, I'm really good at listening when my life is in danger." She's like, "I have
My assassin instincts are on point.
Yeah, she's like, my survival technique is very good, very high, A
Literally.
plus.
A plus.
But if you just tell me to do it and there's no danger, not gonna happen."
Literally.
But yeah, so not only does she shift and not lose control of her power, she then uses her power in a pretty controlled way to kill the
Yes.
skinwalkers because she's like, all right, ice won't do anything to them. They don't have airways to be suffocated, but what about wildfire? And she tells Rowan to shift, and he does, and she fucking's like, surprise, bitch, and blasts them with her power, though both sides of the forest are now on fire because it was controlled, but not really.
Yeah.
Uh,
Controlled for her.
yes. And so Rowan does her solid and is putting out the
The
fire in
fire.
the forest. But he tells her, "You could be doing this too if you tried." She's like, "No, that's okay. You could do it."
Yeah, she's like, I'll just start it, you end
Yeah.
it.
Now is not the time for the magic lesson. But yes, yeah, so we learned that their power does have a limit to it. That
Mm,
there's not this like limitless wildfire power, and that there is a well, and she could burn out if not used appropriately or used too much too quickly or just
right.
used too much. She'll need to replenish her magic, and that her
Yeah.
body was basically telling her, like, you need to relax, like you cannot like throw fire like that again tonight, which obviously she doesn't have to, but
Right.
it is telling her to slow down.
Or train it so that you can do it more often.
Yeah. Well, he says that he runs out of his power too, that he'll need to
Yeah.
like replenish. And he seems pretty strong, but he's like, if you use it in like smaller bursts, it can last longer, especially like when you're in a battle.
Yeah.
So he's like, "You're not leaving. Get your ass back to the fortress. Let's go. Double duty kitchens tomorrow." And so she's like, "Okay."
He's like, left, 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 right,
And she's
left.
like, "I'm coming. Thank you for saving me."
Too funny. Chapter 23. This is actually my favorite chapter of the night.
Yes.
I'm so excited. For a week, Manan and the Blackbeaks had been flying daily to master their wyverns, all while avoiding conflict with the other covens in the mess hall. Iskra, the Yellowlegs heir, constantly tried to provoke Manan, but she was ignored. Today was selection day. 42 witches from the three covens, including their matrons, gathered at the training pit. Wyvern were presented one by one, facing a defenseless, chained bait beast that was missing its tail, which I have thoughts about, but I'll save them for after
Well,
my
it
summary.
has its tail, right? It's just like the poison barb is like
It's
filed
missing a
down.
piece of it. Yeah. No, I thought they like chopped it off so that he couldn't use it at all
Oh,
to defend
I
himself.
thought it was just like filed down, so like it was useless. It's still useless either
Yeah, it's
way.
useless either way, yeah. The matrons had agreed to a civil selection method, drawing sticks if multiple witches wanted the same wyvern. The witches, however, wanted to see the wyverns fight first, so the beasts were set upon the chained wyvern.
Hmm.
When an enormous female wyvern appeared, Petra, the Blue Bloods' heir, stepped forward to claim it, and no one challenged her. Petra, however, publicly endorsed Manon, stating that Titus would be a better match for her than for Iskra. When Titus was presented, he immediately attacked the babies without waiting for the whistle. Iskra, seizing the moment, shoved Manon into the pit with the wyverns. Titus lunged at Manon, but she drew her sword, Wingcleaver. He struck her with his tail, sending her flying to land right in front of the bait beast. The bait beast, however, didn't see Manon as prey, but as an ally. Manon, transforming her sword into Iron Cleaver, broke the bait beast's chains, freeing it to fight Titus. To everyone's shock, the defenseless bait beast, with Manon's help, took down the largest wyvern. Manon sliced into Titus's tail, releasing his grip on the bait beast and allowing it to land the final blow. Titus was dead, and Manon claimed the bait beast as her own, a warrior who had waited for her. She named him Abraxos after an ancient serpent commanded by the three-faced goddess. The night's events took a turn for the worst. Her grandmother was furious, calling Abraxos a runty scrap of meat, and his victory was a fluke. They didn't know if he could even fly, and claimed no wyvern would accept his dominance as a wing leader. Manon had ruined her grandmother's plans, and as punishment, Asterin was publicly whipped by Iskra to shame her for not protecting Manon. Despite this, Asterin didn't scream, and Manon doubled down on her decision. She had looked into Abraxos' eyes. She knew he was the most ferocious and cunning of them all. A human trainer warned Manon that it could take weeks or months to train Abraxos to fly, or it might not even happen. But Manon was undeterred, insisting their lessons would start tomorrow. I believe the wyverns could understand them better than a dog, no matter what the trainer told her. But she resolved to use every moment before the war games to train him. Manon Blackbeak didn't fail at anything, and she promised herself that she could make everyone, especially her grandmother, look like fools, taking pleasure in the thought of Abraxos biting off Iskra's head on the battlefield.
Well,
Crazy. She picks the bait beast, names him Abraxos,
yes.
and this is the dragon that hangs on Megan's car mirror.
The wyvern.
The wyvern. I keep doing that. Even in my notes, I kept writing dragon, and I'm like, no, wyvern, not dragon, wyvern. Yes, wyvern.
Yes, hangs in my car window. It's a little car scent that I got from the bookish box,
Yeah.
and I'm obsessed.
Oh, love him. Well, Grandma Ma was pissed at us though because she's like, "You fucked everything up, bitch.
Yeah.
You were supposed to be the wing leader, and now the wyvern are never gonna think of the bait beast as their leader. None of them are
Mhm.
gonna respect him. They don't even know if this wyvern can fly."
Yeah, it was so sad
So
when she goes to his pen to see
I
him and he's
know.
like curled up in the corner and she's like, "Why is he laying like that?" And they're like, "Because he's not used to like being on his own. He's used to being
Yeah,
like in a room with like so many other bait wyverns that
I
he just
know.
like stays in his own space." And that's just really sad.
I know, it's so sad. I literally hate everything that has happened to the bait beasts.
I know. I get
I said to Megan, I'm
so
like, I think this
emotional.
is the saddest part of this whole book so far to me. It's the babies. Megan literally laughed at me, but I'm
No,
serious.
it is really sad. Like when I was
Yeah,
reading this part today, I was getting really emotional about it. It's like when I listened to the freaking griffins die in
I
Iron
know.
Flame, and they're like,
Oh,
"Arr!" I was like, oh, they're making a graphic audio for all the Throne of Glass books, and I don't know if I could ever listen to this part.
I
I would
know.
bawl my
The
eyes out.
whimper. Oh, no, yeah.
Oh,
I could not. I could not.
no.
Insane.
Sad.
And it's even sad that the punishment does not just go to Manon, but it also goes to Asterin for allowing Iskra to even push her into the pit.
Yeah.
And Iskra fucking gives the beat in
Yeah.
to like embarrass the shit out of her. That's crazy. The
They're
grandma is
ruthless.
fucking ruthless. She's tapped.
I
It's
mean,
crazy.
Astrid shouldn't have let Manon fall into that
No, of
pit.
course not. But like, still, what a punishment.
Crazy.
Even Manon was like, "Let me do the beating," because she knew she would like go easy on her. But
I don't think she would go easy on her because she already beat her once in public for fighting with the yellow legs. So, but I think it
well, I
would be
mean,
better if her
right?
doing it than Iskra.
Yeah, not that she would like. Obviously, it had to be public. She had to do something, but like, I feel like it wouldn't be as bad as Iskra doing
She's a
it.
bitch.
Although she took it like a champ and didn't even scream.
Yeah,
So
Astrid's
no, Astrid.
she's a champ.
Yeah. And Manon does not give a fuck about this human twit of a trainer. She's like, I am going to take my wyvern and train him whenever the fuck I want, and he will be flying because I don't fail at anything, and I'm a bad bitch, and that's it. Oh, and she wants her wyvern to bite off Iskra's head on the battlefield during a war game, so I'm here for it.
Mic drop.
I hope that happens. Fuck Iskra.
Literally.
Can't stand that bitch.
Chapter 24. Kale brings Adian down through the secret door in Selena's room to the tomb to tell him everything he knew about Selena and what was going on with the king. Adian didn't show awe or surprise at the tomb, but maybe seeing the sword of Damaris got his attention. Adian will share his information as long as Kale shares his, and Kale says what he's about to tell Adian will change everything. Dorian is in full on disbelief that Kale is currently hanging out with Adian in the tomb and the information he's disclosing to him. Dorian is shocked that Selena is Aelin, that his
Wow.
father had made the creature in the library, and about word keys and the word gates. Dorian knows that they had lied to him and decided that he wasn't to be trusted. Aiden and Kale catch him eavesdropping on their conversation, and Kale tries to explain that he's doing all of this for Dorian to help him unleash magic. He couldn't hope or guess what Dorian would do, so he couldn't risk telling him all this information. They needed Aiden and Aelin as allies, and the king would put them down if he ever knew what was really going on. Aiden tells Dorian that Kale didn't tell him about Dorian's magic, but he needs to be more careful to get control since there was currently ice behind him.
Oh, shit.
Dorian accuses Kale of wanting to be Adian's king one day, and that's why he's doing all of this. And Adian says that Aelin would never marry someone from a Darlin.
Ooh.
Dorian says that he won't say anything, but he will not be a part of any of this.
He's pissed.
Later, Adian meets up with Ren and Murtaugh. He also suspected the king was using the witches to build his army, which bingo, he's right, because he totally is. Their kingdom of Terrasen went into hiding, and there isn't many of them left with lords and things like that. Either they were executed or they're in hiding, or some went loyal to the king. But Adian wants to send out feelers for two specific individuals, Ravi and Sol, to see what is going on with them. Like, are they willing to assist in helping their cause in any way? Ren thinks that Aelin and Adian will have a lot to answer for to their kingdom for what they've been doing over the last 10 years. Yes, Aelin was a child at the time, but she hasn't been for the last few years. Adian promises them that what Aelin will do to the king will be worse than what the king did to them 10 years ago, and he just hoped that his promise was correct.
Wild. I can't believe Dorian knows everything now. I was not expecting Dorian to be eavesdropping. That was crazy.
And what a way to find out. Like,
I
that's
know.
really sad to know that you're betrayed by two of like the closest people that know everything about you and your magic. And now he's like, oh my God, Aelin is my enemy. Like, this girl
Mhm.
that I kissed and slept next to and said that she would be back.
Loved.
Like, is
Yeah.
that to kill me or
I
what does that
know.
mean? So he's just like, oh my God, she has this information about my magic. So he's like spiraling because he's just feeling betrayed, especially by Kale, but
Yeah.
really just like learning all this information. Like he knew his dad was the bad guy, but to know really like what his dad is actually doing, he's going to need some time to process that. And I know
Yeah.
he says at the end that he isn't going to say anything and but he doesn't want any part of it. I think he just needs some time to sit with it because
Of
I
course.
think
Yeah.
like at the end of the day Dorian is a good guy and
Yeah.
he is
We'll
always
do
going to
the
pick
right
the
thing.
side of good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Of course, he's going to take some time to like cool off too, because he not only was lied to
Mhm.
by like everything, but I feel like his world just shattered in front of him.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
he thought he just had to be good and like sit back
I
and
mean,
chill
he was
out.
pissed when he saw that Kale and Adian were even hanging out together, never mind like what they were
I
talking
know.
about.
I know because Kale is his bestie, but also they've been so
I
estranged.
know. He's like, you
So
didn't trust me. And he's like, I didn't have time to like hope or take any chances when it came to Selena and what's going on with the king because we need them as allies. Like, we need them in order to free magic for you. Like, I'm doing all of this for you. But
yeah,
Dorian just like can't see that at the
doesn't
moment.
see that. Yeah. He is truly doing it for him though.
Yeah.
And Selena too, but also
Really
for
for
Dorian's
Dorian.
magic.
He's
Yeah.
not even mentioned he's doing this for Selena anymore. He's doing this
No.
for Dorian.
Yeah.
Dorian's always been
Literally.
his number one bae.
Of course. He's always gonna pick the Havigods
Yes.
as captain of the guard.
Yes. But later, Adian meets up with some of his rebel allies, and
Hmm.
they don't seem like overly confident that they're going to have the numbers in order to take on a Darlin as just Terrasen themselves. And that the
Hmm.
lords that they do have, they're not all gonna be like us and just willing to jump on this bandwagon. They're gonna want answers from you for what you've been doing and seemingly helping the king. And
Yeah.
where has Aelin been? And yes, she was a child, but she's been 18, an adult for quite some time now. So why is she now the king's champion and not really doing anything to aid in our cause?
Right.
So I think she has an upward battle for sure with even her own people. Like, I don't know if she just expects to walk into a room in front of them and be like, yeah, I'm in charge now and you're going to do as I say. Cause I think like she's in for a rude awakening if that's the case.
Yeah. I feel like that's not going to happen like that, but hopefully not, anyways. I hope not. I think there's going to be a time where she feels like she needs to be in charge and they'll respect her for it, hopefully. But we'll see.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe eventually.
Are we ready for the last chapter of the episode?
Yes, darling.
All right, darling, here we go. Chapter 25. Rowan held true to his word, subjecting Selena to double kitchen duty. She didn't mind, as the physical exhaustion kept her from having nightmares, and she enjoyed listening to Emery's stories. Still, she harbored a strong dislike for Rowan and knew his approval for her entry into Doranel was a distant prospect. Their training often took place at temple ruins, and Selena discovered today that these were the ruins of a temple dedicated to Mala, the sun goddess of light, learning, and fire. Rowan had been deliberately bringing her there, believing the location would help her master her powers in shifting. Selena could feel the faint echo of power that once resided there, explaining why the temple felt different in the sunlight and why her magic was agitated.
Hmm.
Mala was the eternal rival of Deanna, Keeper of the Moon. Selena mentioned that Maeve had immortalized her sister Mab into godhood. When asked if he knew Mab, Rowan replied he wasn't that old, though he remained coy about his specific age, noting he was still considered young for his kind. Rowan explained that the temple had been abandoned, not destroyed, when the Fae moved to Doranel. Selena observed that the Fae in her home of Terrasen were different and were easily hunted and killed by the King of Adarlan. Rowan explained that they were gentler, less aggressive. They relied heavily on their magic, so when the king's power wiped it away, they were left defenseless. Maeve had refused to send aid, having severed ties with them long ago, but she had offered sanctuary to anyone who could make the journey. Selena smiled at some sentries who reacted as if they'd seen a ghost. Rowan remarked that her scent indicated she wanted to be left alone, and Selena was perfectly fine with that. For a change of pace, Rowan and Selena decided to do some useful work. Following markers, they found the shell of a woman's body, her face frozen in an expression of pure horror. There were no other wounds, just a small trace of blood beneath her nose. Selena recognized the symptoms from her own experience with the creature that forced her to relive her traumatic memories, an encounter from which Rowan had saved her. With only an hour before they had to return, they planned to question the townspeople. Unable to bury the body due to the hard ground, they burned it instead. Selena tried to shift, but found herself stuck in her mortal body as they watched the remains turn to ash. We get another mention of these stories.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just clocking for now because I'm going to get into it in my predictions soon.
Yep.
We learn about Mala, the goddess of light, learning, and fire. And Rowan deliberately brings her to these abandoned temples to try and, spark some magic. And Selena does mention, I think a couple times actually, that like the magic is like tingling inside her,
Mm.
or she is like weirded out that she can still even feel it in her human form.
Yeah.
She hears this echo of like faint power. So I feel like his plan is kind of helping.
Yeah, though she
A little
does
bit.
mention when he's like, yeah, these temples were abandoned. She's like, Emery said they were destroyed, not
Yeah.
abandoned when people went to
Yeah.
Dornell. So I think that's important
Hmm.
to latch on to as well.
Indeed, darling. And that also brings me to the fact that Emery's stories, she's paying attention to them.
She is.
Indeed. We know Mala is the eternal rival of Deanna. We get some goddess talk here, who
Mhm.
Deanna is the keeper of the moon.
And Mab.
Mab is, I know. How does she play in?
So Mab
Years
is
ago.
now Deanna.
Okay.
Yeah, Maeve made her into a god or whatever. I don't
Yeah.
know how you do that, but
I think it's funny that Selena uses this time to try and figure out how old Rowan is. She's like, did you know, Mav?
yeah. He's like, I'm
He's
not
like, bitch, I'm
no.
old, but I'm not that old.
Yeah, I don't know her.
He doesn't give us a specific age, though. Come on, Rowan, we need to know.
Yeah.
We got another mention of Maeve here
Mhm.
refusing to send help to the Fae and Terracin, but she offers them sanctuary. So she's like, yeah, if you can come, come. But if not, then sorry. It's kind of a long way to go, though.
It is a long way to get there to survive, like leaving
Without
being a
magic when you
darling.
rely on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. She also gives off a scent of don't fuck with me right now.
Yep.
As soon as she learns about it, she's like, good. I like
I
that.
like that. Yeah.
That's perfect. But they do decide to do some useful work today, and they find the shell of a woman's body with this like horrified face on her, which is crazy because they recognize that it was this creature that Selena came into contact with. She tells Rowan that it made her see all of like the worst memories that she had in her head.
Mm.
And Selena's like, we can't just leave these people here. We don't even know who they are, these victims. So we have to give them a proper burial. But they end up burning them instead. Selena tries to shift here. So it's nice that she's finally working up the courage to do it, even though she doesn't like to be told to do it. She'll try on her own. But
Mhm.
she is unsuccessful. She's stuck in her mortal body, and she just watches these poor victims burn to ash.
Yeah.
But that is the end of our section. So before we close this episode, I have a couple of predictions here, darling.
Okay, darling.
One, Manon is definitely going to be able to talk or communicate with Abraxos. For
Mm.
sure. I have a feeling that the whole talk about them being like a dog was foreshadowing for something else that's to come. So there's one prediction for you.
Okay.
Definitely more than a human and dog connection.
Yes.
And number two, Emery's stories. I feel like they are going to be so important that he's going to know more information about what we want to know about the word keys. And I feel like if Maeve is not going to help, or if that is going to be a different path that she takes to get to these answers, Emery's will come in handy to either know something specifically about the word keys or know who to ask.
Interesting.
Yeah. But that's all we have for you today. Please let us know what you think by leaving us a review and comments on any of the platforms you are listening/watching on or on our social media pages. This helps tremendously to get the word out and lead more listeners to find our show and tune in. And come join our book club Discord. You can find the link in our bios on Insta and TikTok. And this month we are reading Shield of Sparrows by Debbie Perry. We love chatting with you guys, so don't be shy.
Don't forget to email, follow, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and tell all your friends about us. And we hope the rest of your day is blissful. Bye!
Thank you so much for listening. Join us next week for part 3 of Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas, covering chapters 26 through 35. Happy reading!